right. You look good. Alright, as a lot of you know, I recently picked up the electric guitar in the beginning of this year, and I am pleased to say that I have finally recorded some music on it. I played a lead part and a rhythm part with my guitar. I added some drums, some bass, a couple hand percussion instruments as well. And while it's nothing insane that's gonna win a Grammy or anything, I think it was pretty good for my first go around at recording the instrument. I also think it'd be fun in this video to give you a little update on kind of what my playing's been like so far, the things I've learned, and what I expect in the future. I'm gonna share one thing that I thought was easier than I thought it was gonna be when I started playing guitar, and another thing that ended up being a lot more difficult than I thought it was going to be. But before I give you all that, here's that song I recorded. Well, there's that song. Hope you guys enjoyed hearing that and watching me play it too. It was a lot of fun to make, and I will admit, I surprisingly learned enough to be able to record a song like that quicker than I thought. See, I've been using this book right here to kind of learn how to play the instrument. It's kind of just like your standard entry-level book that you'd get at a music store when you want to start learning how to play an instrument. I haven't gone through the entire book, and I, of course, have not mastered the instrument yet, but I learned enough of chord progressions, and I learned enough technique on how to play some lead stuff where I was like, I think I could write a song with this. So unlike my previous projects where I kind of have an idea for a composition and then I write it out and play it and record it, instead this time I kind of made a composition based around where my progression was in playing the guitar. And speaking of playing the guitar, now I'm going to talk to you about those points I mentioned earlier. Let me get it real quick. All right, here it is. I didn't mention in the first video I made with this instrument where I was first starting to learn how to play the guitar in the beginning of the year, but in case you all were curious, the guitar I chose to go with is called the Yamaha Pacifica. And specifically, this model is the 112V. I did my research and figured this was kind of like the standard entry-level guitar that you'd get, at least from Yamaha, that is. And this is not a paid promotion by Yamaha or anything. I just genuinely thought this would be a good instrument for me to start learning how to play electric guitar on. Okay, first, what was easy? And what was easier than I thought was gonna be when I started playing this? Is learning how to use a pick. I was kind of surprised. Holding it wasn't that difficult. Strumming wasn't that difficult. And picking also wasn't super hard either. Yes, it was probably because of my experience playing bass guitar already. The techniques, while they're not exactly the same, they are pretty similar. I never used a pick to play my bass guitar. I always just plucked the strings with my fingers, but I don't know, just like the technique with the strings in this area of the instrument, and I really don't know how to describe. Now what was a lot more difficult than I thought was going to be. Ironically, it also has to do with the strings. And that was just generally getting used to how much smaller these strings were and how much closer the spacing is on them versus bass. See, on my bass guitar here, the strings are a lot bigger and thicker, and well, there's just more space in between them. And as far as playing an instrument with the fretboard, that's just kind of what I got used to. This kind of spacing and this thick of strings. And back to my electric guitar, you can see a lot thinner, and spaces are a lot smaller in between them. Another thing that was a little bit frustrating at first, I sometimes found myself putting down my finger on more than one string. And in some chords, well, you need to do that. I wasn't advanced enough to be doing those kind of chords yet, so it was just straight up frustrating for me at first. But hey, I practiced the technique more, practiced curling my fingers more, and well, as you saw, I got to the point where I could record some music on it, so I think that shows something. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, the song I recorded on my guitar, and the little update on where I'm at in my playing, the things I've learned about it so far. Now, while I can't promise this guitar will be in every single one of my future videos, I'm definitely going to start incorporating it more as I practice it more and my skills on it develop, and I figure out how to creatively include it in my future projects. Well, until then, I hope you guys hear some great music today, and I'll catch you on the next one.